The house was quiet, too quiet, the kind of silence that feels heavy, like something is waiting to happen. And then, out of nowhere, Max, the family's golden retriever, began barking uncontrollably. He scratched at the living room floor, growling, tail rigid, ears alert. It wasn't his usual playful bark. It was low, urgent, protective. Emily, the mother, rushed in. "Max, what is it?" she asked, kneeling beside him. Max wouldn't stop. His paws kept digging at the floor beneath a wooden cabinet, and his barking grew louder, more frantic. Curious and slightly alarmed, Emily opened the cabinet. Tucked behind an old stack of board games was something strange. A small black device with a blinking red light. A camera. Her breath caught. Why was there a hidden camera in their home? And when they played back the footage, what they saw would shatter their world and expose a horrifying secret no one could have imagined. Emily and David were the kind of couple you'd see in neighborhood newsletters. Hardworking, friendly, devoted to their only child, 7-year-old Lily. They had recently moved to a quiet suburb, hoping for a fresh start after David's job transfer. Life seemed peaceful, predictable, even picture-perfect. A few weeks after settling in, they adopted Max, a golden retriever with soulful eyes and a scar on his hind leg. The shelter said he'd been found wandering the highway, malnourished and fearful of men. But with Lily, Max had softened. He followed her everywhere, slept at the foot of her bed, and whined if she left the room for too long. It was like he had found his purpose. The family adored him. "He's more than a pet," David would say. "He's one of us." But beneath the surface of this cozy home, something didn't feel quite right. Lily had grown quieter. She flinched at sudden noises. Emily chalked it up to stress from the move. Still, she noticed how Max never let Lily out of his sight, how he would growl at certain guests or bark at seemingly empty hallways. Nobody thought much of it. Not yet. But Max knew something they didn't. Something deeply, terrifyingly wrong. At first it was little things. Max would sit outside Lily's door at night and growl softly. He began refusing food when certain guests came over, especially a neighbor named Tom, who always seemed overly friendly with Lily. Then one evening, Emily noticed Max standing stiffly at the hallway leading to the guest room. His fur bristled, his gaze locked on something unseen. When she called him, he didn't move. He just stood there, growling under his breath, low and steady. Over the next few days, his behavior escalated. Max refused to leave Lily's side, even when she went to school. He paced by the front door until she returned, whining and circling nervously. Then one afternoon, Lily screamed from the living room. Emily ran in to find Max pawing furiously at the bottom of a tall bookshelf, barking wildly. "What's gotten into you?" David asked, kneeling beside the dog. Max didn't stop. That night, when the house was quiet, Max began clawing again, this time at a corner of the living room floor beneath a heavy cabinet. His barking was no longer defensive. It was desperate. Emily hesitated, then pushed the cabinet aside. There, hidden behind some cleaning supplies, was a small blinking device. Metallic, cold, and unmistakably out of place. A hidden camera. The air shifted. Cold dread crept in. Max had been trying to tell them all along. And now, they had to face whatever truth that little device had captured. Emily's hands trembled as she picked up the tiny black device. A hidden camera, hidden in her own living room. She exchanged a panicked look with David, who was already dialing the police. Max stood beside them, still growling, as if the threat hadn't passed yet. The officers arrived quickly. After a brief inspection, one of them turned to Emily. "This camera's not just recording, it's transmitting." "What?" David asked, stunned. "To who?" No one had an answer. Later that evening, detectives returned with specialized equipment. After searching the home, they found 2 more cameras, one in Lily's bedroom lamp and another disguised in the air vent above the guest bathroom. The footage stored on one of the devices made everyone in the room fall silent. It wasn't just surveillance, it was something far worse. A man's voice coaxing Lily, shadows moving near her bed at night, clips of her crying, whispering, "Please stop." Emily collapsed to her knees. David broke down in tears. The man's voice in the video? It was unmistakably familiar. Tom, the neighbor, the one who always offered to babysit. The room spun. How long had this been happening? How had no one noticed? Max had noticed. He had seen the signs no one else did. The police launched a full investigation. Tom's house was raided. Inside, they found hard drives, IDs of missing children, and more devices just like the ones hidden in Emily's home. He wasn't just a predator. He was part of something larger, a trafficking ring, and it had started in the house next door, all because one dog refused to stay silent. The truth was now unraveling. The days that followed were a blur of sirens, investigators, and grim revelations. As authorities dug deeper into Tom's connections, a disturbing network began to emerge, one that spanned multiple cities, hiding in plain sight. He wasn't acting alone. The devices found in Emily and David's home were traced to a dark web marketplace, one used to traffic videos of children, gathered through hidden cameras planted by predators like Tom. Each clue uncovered led to another. Names, addresses, faces. Several more homes in the neighborhood were quietly investigated. 2 more children were rescued, both too young to understand what had nearly happened to them. The FBI joined the case. Digital forensics experts combed through the data on Tom's hard drives. What they found confirmed their worst fears. This was a well-organized child trafficking ring, and Tom had been a trusted supplier. But the linchpin to everything, the spark that lit this explosive investigation, was Max. The dog no one expected to be the hero. Had it not been for his instincts, the camera might have gone unnoticed. Lily might have continued to suffer in silence. Other children might still be at risk. Max, the abused shelter dog once deemed untrainable, had seen what no one else did and refused to let it be ignored. As arrests were made and headlines swept the nation, Emily often looked at Max with tears in her eyes. Because in a world filled with monsters, it had taken a dog, broken but brave, to finally bring the truth to light. News of Max's heroic act spread like wildfire. Within days, media outlets across the country picked up the story. Dog uncovers hidden camera, saves child from trafficking ring. Social media lit up with posts praising Max, calling him a real-life superhero, and the dog with a sixth sense. People shared their own stories of animals sensing danger, flooding comment sections with love and admiration. Emily and David received an outpouring of support, letters, donations, even therapy offers for Lily. Max was honored by local authorities in a special ceremony where he received a Medal of Bravery and a new custom collar engraved with the word Guardian. Animal shelters saw a spike in adoptions as Max's story inspired thousands to give rescues a second chance. But for Emily, the most powerful change was Lily, now slowly smiling again, her hand resting gently on Max's head. Safe, healing, and never alone again. Sometimes heroes don't wear capes. They walk on 4 legs, scarred by their own past, yet still brave enough to save others. Max wasn't just a dog. He was a survivor who turned protector, who sensed the pain no one else saw, and who acted when it mattered most. Lily's laughter now fills the home that was once cloaked in silence. And Max? He rests peacefully by her side, knowing his job is done, for now. Let this story be a reminder. Even the voiceless can speak volumes. You just have to be willing to listen.